Yo, what's going on? It is 1 p.m. here in Crystal Lake, Illinois. That means it's time for another live stream. Today is Tuesday, May 14th, 2024. Guys, I can't believe it's middle of May already. It's, yeah, this month is flying by. I think because of the fact that I was gone for most of April, it does feel like a lot of this month and last month has flown by. I also traveled a lot in the winter, which made the winter fly by. So I don't know. I'm just losing all sense of time, guys. But I'm glad to be here with you. We got some fun stuff to unbox today. I had to double and triple check, make sure it wasn't under embargo. It's not, so I can show it to you guys. I actually think it's already available for sale. But I haven't really seen anyone talking about it yet. So this should be interesting. It's from La Sportiva. I kind of wish it would have arrived like a week ago, because I think it could have been a contender for Tiger Claw 50K. But before we get to that, let's say hi to everyone listening on the audio-only version on the podcast. I will try to do a good job of explaining what the shoe looks like for those of you who are listening to this on the run, and I hope you're having a good run. Today I did not run again. I am, I guess, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, third day out after the 50K. I'm feeling pretty good. I did some gardening today and yesterday. Not gardening. I was weeding the dandelions out of the yard. And then I also played a little soccer with my daughter in the backyard after school yesterday. Feeling good. Going downstairs is still really tough, though. But otherwise, I'm feeling good, and I hope you're feeling good, too. And for everyone else watching this later but not live, welcome to the #1 running podcast to listen to while you're folding your laundry. So hopefully, I wish for you towels and socks. Not socks. Socks are annoying. What are easy? Towels and shorts. Towels and shorts. Those are the easiest things to fold. Those are my favorite things to fold. Every time my wife is folding laundry, I always, when I'm coming over to help, I say, "Did you save me any of the good stuff?" She goes, "I did them already." She always does the good stuff first. But I still try to help anyway. I don't always help. Laundry is not something that I do a lot of. I do a lot of other stuff, but not the laundry. But if you are a laundry doer and a laundry folder, you're in the right spot. All right. JC is here in the chat. He says, "Hey, everyone, he's got a track session tonight." That sounds fun. And Sean says, "Mike sounds weird." Oh, let me check. Oh, here we go. Sorry, had the wrong microphone selected. Sorry about that. Is that better? That's got to be better. Thanks for letting me know. Cheryl Ross has a 10-miler today, her longest in months. Nice, Cheryl. Aliza's been doing some weights. She got a kettlebell, looks like. She says, "Heiko fam lifted today. Everything feels like jelly." That sounds about right. And Sean Devlin says he got in 5-mile run this morning before the heat. There you go. Nice, nice. Daniel Burton rode his bike in Colorado. Says it's beautiful in Colorado. Very good work. Very, very good work. Eric says, "Nice. It's much better." Yeah, 5 or 6 times I came and sat down here, the mic was correctly selected by the software. Today, I didn't do that double check. It always gets you on the day you don't double check, you know. Adam says, "There are some tricks to folding fitted sheets. Look on YouTube." Yeah, you know what? It took me so long to figure that out. It took me a really long time to figure out the tricks on how to fold a fitted sheet. I mean, I've seen the Martha Stewart video. I feel like that's the most popular one. I watched that one like a dozen times in a row, and I'm like, I don't know what she's doing. It's magic. Witchcraft, probably. And then one day I just tried it, and it worked. I kind of got it, you know. Richard Wilson says, "I haven't run in ages, nursing a bothersome medial Achilles. Still holding out hope for my 100-miler in June." All right. Hopefully that gets better. Medial Achilles. I didn't know you could so it hurts on the inside? That's interesting. All right. Elliot Endure says, "Dude, I just roll up the fitted sheet and sit it on top." Done. Before I met my wife, it was a lot easier because I just had one fitted sheet. So all you did was you got it out of the dryer and put it back on the bed. That was it. One step. No folding ever, you know. Yeah. Elisa says, Cody, DOMs today? Are you feeling pretty much back to usual? So today's day 3. Yesterday was the DOMs day. Yesterday I definitely felt worse yesterday. Even though maybe it's because yesterday was day 2 after the event, and then, or the next, like the first full day after the event. And then also I traveled that day. No. Sunday I traveled. So yesterday was 2 days after. Yeah. So yesterday was 2 days after and the day after travel. That day hurt. Now it's 3 days after and I'm feeling much better. It's just going downstairs. The first couple are a little rough. Then once I get into it, then it's fine. Tales de Mileto says, hey, Cole, I saw you shooting some hoops in the Believe in the Run Road to Record video. Good basketball form. I don't know about that, but thanks. I had some fun. I haven't really played much basketball as an adult, but my daughter's been playing, and so I take her to the Y every once in a while. And basically, I just make her do layup drills because I'm like, this is 6th grade girls basketball. You do not need to be taking 3-pointers. You do not need to be practicing even free throws. Just do layups. If you can make the basket from within a couple of feet, that's all you need to be able to do. I mean, their team was pretty good this year, but I felt like they could have used more layup practice. They did a pretty good job of rebounding. They're pretty tenacious, that team, but they just have the hard time getting the ball back up. But so that's all I've been doing. So that clip, I mean, I put a clip in my own video too. But that's only like maybe the 4th time this century that I played basketball. So that was pretty funny. Adam says, by the way, WNBA regular season starts tonight. That's cool. I've been seeing clips of the women's NBA basketball team, the players flying charter. Which I thought was super cool. That was fun. That was fun to see. I'm like, man, those charter airplanes, everyone gets a first-class seat. Everyone basically gets 2 first-class seats. And then some people were sitting at tables. I'm like, how do they pick who sits at the table? I would want to sit at a table. I guess unless it was a long flight, then I would want to sit in a chair. I don't know. All right, Eric Paramon's got a question for everybody. What are your big goals this year? For me, my big goal is to finish the 6-star. That's one of the big goals that I have. I would also like to PR in every distance. Small ask. I think I can PR in the 5K. I'm pretty sure I can PR in the 10K if we're counting standalone 10Ks. My fastest 10K is the split I ran at the Cherry Blossom 10 mile the last time I ran it. I ran a 64 minutes for the 10 mile, and that 10K split was like 38 high, I think, 38. And so I'd like to be able to, I think my last one, I did Cherry Blossom, I did a Peachtree, but Peachtree I think I ran like a 43. So I think that's actually my fastest chip time 10K, standalone 10K PR. So I'd like to get under 40. So I think I could do that. I think I could do the 5K PR, maybe. I already PR'd the half marathon. So I just need to PR the full marathon now. So hopefully that'll be Berlin too. So. Richard Wilson says his big goal is another sub-3 attempt at CIM. Nice. JC says JC wants to be healthy enough to run a good time at Chicago. Hopefully I think it's going to be a good year. I have a feeling, guys. I just have a feeling. Louis says every year the goal is just to stay healthy. Love that one. Evan says my big goal is running my first marathon in December. Awesome. Which marathon are you going to run, Evan? Christian G wants to know, what do you have left for the 6-star? I have Berlin left, so I'll be running that in September. I don't officially have the bib yet, but I'm pretty sure I have a bib. So, yeah. So that's the goal. I think, and if the way that I'm thinking I'll get the bib falls through, I think I could probably get one from Adidas. They've offered, so I think I can get one from them too. So I think I'll be I'm pretty sure I'm confident that I'll be at Berlin, but nothing's final till it's final. Adam says for the 10K, you should run Boulder next year. That is not going to be a place for me to run fast, but I would like to run Boulder. This year was definitely not going to be the year for it because I just have traveled so much. Maybe 2025. I don't know. Lisa's got a hundo in October. Oh boy. Rosie says, perhaps a small goal to some in the running world, but to run sub 5 in my second marathon this fall. Good luck, Rosie. What race are you going to run? Sean Regan's going to run first full at Chicago, but currently nursing IT band syndrome. Ooh. You got plenty of time. You'll be fine. Andrew Cho wants to run sub 255 in Marine Corps, sub 122 and a half. Ooh, those are good numbers. You and I are in like the same spot. I like that. I would like to reduce my half marathon PR. I think I can run faster than 124. I'm having hard. That's what the big sigh was. I'm having a hard time wrapping my head around it. I don't know why. Feels like so fast. It's not. It is. It's not. I don't know. Sega Dreamcast trying to run 320 at Grandma's. Training has been great so far with a big bicep flex emoji. Good job. Good job. I love it. Brian Poose says, surviving miles 4 and 5 at the Peachtree would be a nice goal for me since there are no hills where I live. Oh boy. They were tough, but like just slow down. Know you're going to slow down. Factor that into your goal for times for the race, and you'll be fine. I mean, if you can find something to run on, that'd be great. If you could get to a gym and do a stair climber, that'll strengthen the quads. Maybe some weight training if you're worried about hills. Vanessa says, my goal is to run a 5K and 10K this year. Would also love to fit in a half, but it depends on my health situation. Fingers crossed. Running shoe and happy smiley emoji. Nice. Jen Runs Triangle says, finally got to watch the London debrief call with Sandy and Sage and appreciated the honest reflection. Also think it's important to normalize a bad day without spinning it as something inspiring. Was I trying to spin it as something inspiring? I just thought it was a bad day. But I agree with you. Rosie's going to be making her sub 5 attempt at Bay State Marathon. Rosie heard Matt Chittum talk it up. All right, so you know what you get to do. If you go and it ends up being like really hilly, you get to call Matt Chittum out. I'll help you. Lisa's waiting for me to do a 100K. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, that reminds me. I still have to think about that. I can't tell you about it yet because again, nothing's final until it's final. But I gotta check out dates. There might be something else I gotta do. But I still would really like to do Black Canyon. I'm also not opposed to a flatter 100K either. I was thinking, Tunjuk Miles does a lot of races up here in this area. Well, not this area, but like in Wisconsin, and we're pretty close to Wisconsin here. So I was thinking that same thing with Ornery Mule Racing. They do a lot of races. They're the ones that put on that Halloween 10-mile race that I did. Their offices are right by where my daughter used to go for rock climbing. It's just right in town in Crystal Lake. They have a bunch of races too. So I was like, maybe I'll do a local 100K instead of having to travel for one. Maybe that'll help. I don't know. After last weekend, 100K seems so far. That's the thing. Eric says, yeah, he'd like to see me do a 100K too. Great to see him tackle one, but it's an intimidating leap from 50 to 100K. So I had a conversation when I was on the 10 Junk Miles podcast years ago. I think, yeah, it was years ago, about that. And he was like, you've done a 150K and you want to do a 100K now? And I was like, yep. He's like, why not do a 50 mile first? And I'm like, 50 miles seems like a long way. And once you're already that long way, what's another like 10? I know that's not how it works, but I was just like, why not? 50 mile, I guess at some point I'd love the idea of doing the JFK 50 because of the fact that like it has like a weird historical like posture to it. Because it was like, because John F. Kennedy wanted Americans to be more fit, so then all these 50-mile races started popping up. I'm not exactly sure. It's something like that. Correct me if I'm sure you guys will correct me if I'm wrong. And like the JFK 50 is like the last one left of those like presidential 50-mile running races. I feel like I might try to do that one, but that one also seems very tough. You know? Yeah. So. Oh, Mark Meyer says, I saw Brian mention Tracksmith Twilight 5000 yesterday. 72 spots still open for Chicago. It's July 12th. You know what? There are other dates of it listed already. I was looking for it yesterday and I couldn't find any. I'll have to look again. July 12th, huh? Let me look at my calendar. Ooh, okay. That would be the night before the 5K that I was planning on doing. I was planning on doing a local 5K. It'd be like 5 miles from my house. It's pretty flat. I ran it last year. I ran it with my daughter last year. That's the one. So I was thinking about doing that. It would be the next day. So I guess what I could do is I could do the Tracksmith 5000 and then pace my daughter the next day. Oh, I like that. Okay. I'm gonna see if I can get that. I'll have to find that link. Vanessa says, Code, did you buy an Insta360 X4? Interested in how long it takes to process the footage. Yeah, I did. And I started working on it yesterday, the footage, and it took me not that long. I don't know if I've gotten better at it. I just use my MacBook for it. I have a feeling however that software is written, it doesn't take full advantage of what the Mac Silicon can do. Because as soon as I start using Insta360 Studio to start rendering the footage, the fans spin up and the computer gets hot and it just drains the battery. Like water dripping out of a leaky bucket. Like you could see it go down. And so it really stresses the computer out quite a bit, but it gets done pretty fast. It's a matter of like, I'm also pretty, like I've been using that software for years, so I'm pretty like quick with it, but it is an extra step. It probably added, I took 100 clips, 101 actually. Some of them were fake clips, like I accidentally hit the record button and they're 2 seconds long. So let's just say 100 clips. It probably added 3 hours of work to the workflow. 2 hours? I don't know. Oh, Jen Runs Triangle says about the conversation with Sage and Sandy, when Jen had mentioned like some people try to spin a bad day into like something super inspirational. She says, you were great. I just see some race recaps that try to spin even a bad day as they were, insert positive adjective and yes, be proud. But some days you just have a bad day. It just happens. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's true. I hear what you're saying. I've had bad days and I've tried to do that. I've done it every single way. I've done like the be mad and have a pity party for a very long time kind of response to a bad race. I've had this is only going to make me stronger kind of response to a race. It's inspirational, it's like, this is how you earn your wings kind of thing. This time it was just like, yeah, some lessons I can learn for next time. I messed it up or just wasn't great. That happens. Sean Reagan says, I think Floberg mentioned doing the Chicago Twilight 5K. He's done it before. I think he has 5K PRs from it last year. right? I think so. I'll have to message him to see if he's doing it. All right, Daniel Burton says, box time. Let's go. We got some shoes here from La Sportiva. I've only run in one other La Sportiva before, and it's the John G. collab shoe. And that one looked really pretty, and it felt very secure, but it felt like a boot to me. And I recognize that La Sportivas are born out of more intense trail running. And so that's kind of what the shoes are about. And so I'm not mad at the La Sportiva John G. collab, but it just wasn't like my style of shoe. But here's what we got. Look at this box. It's a very pretty box. I do like this box. This is mountain running as a registered trademark. Interesting. Mountain running, and it is it says it on here somewhere. The Prodigio in Tropic Blue Cherry Tomato. Now, they've given this to me. I told them my size is a size 9, and they're like, hey, this runs a size a little bit small. So we're going to bump you up if that's all right. And I said, I'll follow your lead. So they gave it to me in a 9.5, which we will note on Spreadsheet Madness. But look at this. This does not look like a La Sportiva shoe to me. Oh. Here we go. La Sportiva Prodigio. Now, the interesting thing about this, so let me pull up the email that they sent me. It is La Sportiva's most cushioned shoe to date. That's what they say. And the foam is called X-Flow, and it is a supercritical foam. So my biggest, complaint, my biggest observation with the other La Sportiva that I tried was it felt very firm. Something that I would love if it was very muddy or very technical, but it was hard for me to wear for a long time. This one's got some moderately aggressive lugs, I would say. I like this pattern on here. It kind of reminds me, there's like a retroness to it, which I appreciate. Just this bottom of the shoe makes it look like, maybe it's because I've been thinking a lot about Rivians lately, but it kind of reminds me of a Rivian in a way. Retro futuristic. And let's take some of this cardboard off. Feels pretty lightweight. I'm going to take this tag off here. And take a look around. We've got a little bit of a, I think, TPU toe cap that goes all the way around here. It smells like a petrochemical product. Yeah, it smells like plastic. But it is very breathable. And then it's almost kind of like got a little bit of a padded tongue up here, just on the top. I feel like I've seen a lot of tongues like this lately in trail shoes, but not too puffy. Not a lot of padding in the heel cup, but a little bit of structure. And look at this, we got some Ortholite inside. Ortholite hybrid La Sportiva ergonomic. Very thin, but should be really comfortable because it's got that Ortholite. All right. Eric Anderton says, what makes the foam critical? I don't know, maybe a negative outlook on life. Is that a real question or was that a dad joke? Sorry, I made it a dad joke. But yeah, but you know what? So I've seen a couple of before we get the scales out and get the spreadsheet out. I guess while I'm getting my spreadsheet ready, I've seen a couple of different renderings of the shoe. I guess that's a fancy way of saying pictures. I've seen some other pictures of the shoe, and for example, like when they emailed me about it, the picture of the shoe they sent me was a women's colorway, and it was black with hints of like purple, pink on it. And to me, that looked very much like a lot of the recent Salomon shoes. This strikes me very much as like a Hoka. That's what I see when I see this shoe. Which one was the one that I really liked? The Zenal. This reminds me a lot of the Zenal. At least the color work on it. Like the shoe itself also kind of looks like a Zenal. I think there's more cushion in this one though. And the Zenal was not supercritical foam. So there we go. All right, these are funny. Runtime says, it looks like a San Diego's Padres jersey from the 80s. Eric says, it's 1980s Italian tourist aesthetic. I'm trying to picture what that looks like. I like it. And if it says, it's not a dad joke until it's a full grown. GROAN. See, we're never going to be able to get rid of that sound. I feel like we need to keep that one around. All right. Andrew Scott said, the shoe looks ready to fit 100 people into a compact car. And Eric says, 1980s Italian Tourist was everything in neon. This is very bright. This is very, for those of you who don't like all black shoes or don't like color on the trails, this is not for you. But for those of you that want to have your shoes pop when you're running through the woods, this is going to be it. All right, let's get the scale. And we know the scale is accurate because we tested it against our weight standards last time. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to bust out those weight standards every time. I don't think we need to do that. But let me get my spreadsheet ready too. All right, here we go. I think maybe we need to make that a little bit bigger. There we go. All right. So we got the shoe. It's the right foot shoe. The weight is, oh, this is pretty impressive. I'm just dropped. I need a bigger workspace, I think, up here. Let's get this zeroed out. We'll measure it again. Just make sure. Oh, we got a different weight this time. All right, for those of you listening on the audio-only version of the podcast, I've been telling you, I guess, some ideas of what, I've been making some comparisons of what the shoe looks like. It tells you it looks like a Zenal a little bit. Eric has been telling you a little bit, you know, what it looks like too. Run Tommy as well, giving you some ideas. But it is like a bright orange shoe with yellow accents and a kind of a blue vamp and tongue. So a lot of really, really bright colors. Neon is a good way to describe it. But silhouette-wise, I think the Zenal is pretty close. Okay. Patrick says the shape looks similar to the Merrell Agility Peak 5. I'm not familiar with that one, Patrick. And Danny Burton says, this will scare the bears off. You think? Then I need this shoe. All right. The official weight for this shoe. Let's get it. Let's add it onto the board. We got La Sportiva. This is the first La Sportiva on the spreadsheet. And this is Prodigio. I just love saying that. 0 miles, right shoe size 9.5. And this is trail. So we've got ounces. We got a lot of guesses here. Some of you are way off. Elisa thinks 10.7. Daniel thinks 11 ounces. Remember, supercritical foams are lighter. Eric says 9.8. Frank says 8.9. The last two are very close. General Triangle is the closest, 9.2. It's actually, mine came in at 9.4 ounces for the size 9.5 and 268 grams. All right. Are we ready to see where this fits in there? 9.4, 9.4. Here we go. 268 grams. That puts it right behind the Cloud Surfer Trail. Ooh, there we go. I mean, I guess it's a lighter shoe than the Cloud Surfer Trail because this is a 9.5. But I guess if the 9.5 is actually wrong and it's a 9, it fits like a 9. I don't know. Either way, whatever it is, the weight on the scale was slight by 2 grams heavier for the La Sportiva than the on Cloud Surfer Trail. So there we go. There we go. Eric says, ooh, not bad for La Sportiva. That's what I feel like. I feel like this is impressive. I'm excited to run in this. And now I'm definitely wishing that I had this shoe to test before the 50K. Not that I didn't like the shoe that I ended up running in. I really did enjoy running in the Salomon Thundercross. But like I've had conversations with people at like Adidas about this, and with a lot of you guys too, is like when it comes to races, if I'm not going to a race with a brand, but if I'm running a race, it's when I usually get to kind of pick whatever shoe I want to race in. And a lot of times it's not just what I feel like I want to race in. Part of it's like, well, what do I want to test in a race scenario? What would be more interesting to run in? And so like an older shoe isn't usually at the top of the list. And the Thundercross has been out for about a year now, maybe. And so I was like, this is not the most compelling. And that's why I was kind of yesterday like, I should have ran into Tomir. But I did really like running into Thundercross. I like that shoe from the first day I tried it. That's a good one. That's a good hike, doing a lot of hiking, getting your butt kicked on a mountain kind of shoe. Yeah. Frank says, the only La Sportiva shoe I've had was an approach shoe. What's an approach shoe? Is that something you wear before you get to the trail? I've not heard that phrase before. Interesting. But yeah, I'm looking forward to trying this. I don't know when I'll get to try it though. I'll still keep a lot of trail running in the mix this summer because I feel like that'll be good to mix it up from some of the 5K, 10K training I'm doing. But then it's soon enough. I think like in 8 weeks, 7 weeks, it's going to be marathon training season again. So I've got a short amount of time. And here's the, I guess the sad thing. I was talking with Sage and Sandy about it, that I'd like to do, 5K, maybe a 10K, or maybe even something shorter than a 5K. And I'm like, it'll be nice to actually work at it. I don't want to just do like, hey, I've got 4 weeks before my next race. Let's see how fast I can get in 3 workouts, But I'm like, 7 weeks is also not a ton of time. But we'll see what we can do. Frank says the approach shoe is the shoe you wear to hike up to the climbing rocks. Oh, okay. I see. Matt McCurry says, put that on a t-shirt. Get your butt kicked on a mountain type of shoe. That could just be like the we'll have like a poster of this, not this shoe, but we could do that for the Thundercross, like a picture of the shoe and then like the caption underneath. It's a good get your butt kicked on a mountain kind of shoe. And Brian Albrecht says, try the Matt Fox approach, master the mile before fall marathons. I know he's trying to run faster too. He's not the only one. I know, I had many conversations with Rory Linkletter about it, and his coach Ryan Hall wants him to get faster, and he also coaches McKenna Myler, and I've talked to her about it. She's going to be planning on doing a lot of the same thing as well. I don't know if she's trying to make the 10,000 meter team. I don't know what her plans are, or if she's just going to stay on the roads. But I know that some of her plans post-marathon trials are to get shorter faster. And so I don't know if I'm just jumping on a bandwagon, but I also just feel like that's something that I've been wanting to do for a while. Basically ever since I ran Tokyo, I was like, okay, I don't know how much faster I can get doing what I've been doing. I got to do something different, Gen Run Triangle says, Co, what are the distances that you think need to reset from a PR to be more in line with your marathon fitness? Was it all shorter distances or just some? I think all of them. The closest one that's like somewhat more in line is I think my 5K. My 5K is like 18:58 or something like that. I ran that 2 Septembers ago. I had a really bad head cold. I may have been unfairly assisted by Sudafed, because I had really bad sinus thing going on. But inadvertent cheating aside, I think that's about it. But I think was capable of running faster on that day, and I think I could run faster with some race-specific training. The 10K is definitely a little bit soft because if we're going by only like official finishing chip times, then like it's like 43. If we go by like within a race, it would be the 10K first 10K split I did for Cherry Blossom 10 mile, which is 38 something, which I think is pretty good. But since it was part of a 10-mile race, I obviously can run a little bit faster. The half marathon, Sage seems to think that I've got 2 more minutes in me, but I need more time for me to believe that I have 2 more minutes in me. So I think those are all distances that I think I can run faster. I haven't raced a mile since high school. I haven't raced a 1,500 meter ever. I haven't run an 800 meter since like 1995. Maybe, yeah, I think maybe 1995. So I actually don't know if I could beat that PR. I was trying to remember what it was. It's either 243 or 223. That's a big difference. But anyway, those are all PRs that I think that could use some updating. And I mean, like, in terms of like more in line with what my PR is for the marathon, I think, like the only thing I'm going off of is like the VO2 max chart, which kind of indicates like that I should have a little bit faster than 124 as my half marathon PR. But I don't think by a lot. So that one's pretty close. And I think the ones that I've actually trained for and tried to update intentionally are relatively close. The other ones I think are a little bit weaker. Let's see. Adam says, an old 10K PR was the first 10K in my first sea-level marathon after moving to Denver. The last 10K of that race was my slowest. That sounds about right. If you PR'd your 10K in your marathon, you probably also had a slow record, SR, I guess. That's funny. James says, you run 800 meters all the time? No. I haven't run one since 1995. So it's been almost 30 years. Right? 1995 to 05, 15, 20. Yeah, almost 30 years. Maybe I should just wait till next year to run one. All right. Johnny Dodgen says, I did a 3-hour, 10-minute debut marathon in April just after I turned 49. Do you think it's realistic to aim for sub 3 at my age? I feel like I'm running out of time. Well, I can certainly relate to the idea that you might be running out of time. If it is your debut, I think that there is plenty of time because it means like you don't have a lot of, like your running age is not as old. You know what I mean? And so, yeah, I think there's time. It also means that there's a lot of, I mean, it depends, Johnny. I'm not familiar with what other distance you've been running and for how long you've been running, so that could also affect it. Like if let's say you've been running really good half marathons for the last 5 years, that would change my kind of analysis. But I would think that like, if it's, you've recently gotten into distance running, you ran your first marathon and it was a 3:10, which is a fantastic first marathon time, then I would say, I mean, you've got time. I think you've got time. Frank Lahuda says 1995 was only like 5 years ago. Oh, I get what you're saying now. No, I get what you're saying. I see. And James says, yeah, it was a joke. You fall for that every day. I do. Oh, no, it's a joke. You go that far every day. Yeah, I do go that far every day. But I don't race that far ever. Patrick says he's going to do the trial at 5,000 in New York City. Let's just say I get a PB. Do I clarify that it's a track PB? Feels like a question for serious runner. Well, I think the technical way that you would do it is you would say your 5,000 meter PB is whatever you get on that day. And your 5K PB, 5K means road. 5,000 meters means track. And they do that because you can measure with very accurate specificity on the track. and technically you should be able to measure with that level of specificity with a USATF certified 5K course. But 5K indicates road and not a track. So you could that's how you would specify it. But Stevie76 says, I just saw the article about how the BAA had not yet given the prize money to the 2014 women's winner after the initial winner was DQ'd for doping. I hadn't seen the article. I've been seeing a lot of discussion about it on threads, which I guess for some people means, I'm not saying this is you, Stevie, but I think for some people it means that they read the article. But I haven't read it. But I also thought I saw that, so the BAA's response was that like they're waiting for the DQ'd winner to return the money, which I'm like, they're not going to return the money. But before they paid the rightful winner. And then I also heard that like some dude was so upset by this, he was just like, I got $75,000, I'll pay. And so that person did get paid. No, Eric, it's 2014. Yeah. That was the after the bombing year, right? Is that one? Yeah, I'm not sure. Is that's because that's the year Meb won. Yeah, isn't it? So she was the one. She came in second, but the winner was disqualified. Which I think is weird. It's like, how do they find that? How does it take so long but I guess they found that out a long time ago. Yeah. Yeah, Gender and Triangle says, yeah, 2014 is a Meb win year. Sean Devlin says 2013 was a bombing year. Okay. Yeah. And Gender and Triangle says, yeah, who is that dude? What's the story there? I don't know. But also on Threads, there's people, not people, Herm Runs was saying that billionaires are so dumb, they don't know how to spend money. And one of his joke was, I guess he's not a Yankees fan, but if he were a billionaire, he would buy out all the seats at the Yankee Stadium for the entire season and make the Yankees play to an empty stadium every day. But like you could just go around. You could just even you would have your own reality TV show about how you go around fixing little injustices around the world every day. That could be one of them. That would even just be like, that wouldn't even be a full episode. You'd be like, oh, she's owed $75,000. All right, here's $75,000, and here's a $75,000 retainer to my attorneys to go get myself compensated back. Let's sue the BAA for that money. That'd be fun. That's like a 30-second reel. Although, like, if you wanted to make an episode, then you would have like a wreath ceremony. They put the gold thing on their head, and then they get to hold the trophy. And they get their picture taken in front of the BAA backdrop. You could have them do that. If I were a billionaire, I think if I were even a mini millionaire, I would do that. If it were to the point where like I could do like, hey, I got $75,000. That would be fun. Frank says, though, you know what? Yeah, I feel like Bill Gates ending malaria or something is better. Possibly. Well, then buying out Yankee Stadium, yes. Ending malaria, yes, is very important. I've done my part. I participated in medical research studies on generic malaria medications. Not as a scientist, as a test subject. So I feel like I've done my part. Yeah. Yeah, Paul Public says, the bigger problem for the new winner is that she also subsequently lost sponsorship, etc. So it's bigger than the prize money. Yes, for sure. I mean, that's always the conversation. It's especially like with what's going on at the Olympics. Related to that, I thought I saw today that someone sent a letter to WADA saying that the entire U.S. contingent of like USA, not just USATF, like Team USA, maybe it was USATF, is concerned about the validity of the Olympic Games given WADA's inability to catch cheaters and dopers. Did anyone else see that today? I want to say it was like Pete Buttigieg it was on like White House letterhead. This was an official government letter to WADA. I want to say Pete Buttigieg posted about it. Pete Buttigieg is very active on Threads, by the way, for those of you guys that want to know. But yeah, I think it's going to be I don't want it to be a big story. I hope it's not something that gets talked about a lot, but I feel like it's going to be talked about a lot. CV76 says, BAA said that they're following World Athletics policy, but the World Athletics person says there's no rule on the books that prevents the BAA from paying Diva the prize money on a purely voluntary basis. Yeah, for sure. Cobalt Blue says Diva has owned $100,000. Cool that some athlete gave her $75,000. The BAA still has to pay though. I wonder if this year's winners have already been paid. I don't know what the pay schedule is like. And Frank says, did the BA ever make that DQ woman pay them back? I don't know if she had, who knows if she even has the money anymore? I don't know. And Elisa says, I assume the BA can't make that woman return the money since it's probably gone. Yeah, I feel like I can't imagine that the money's, even if you had, if you were still, if she had a long and illustrious career after that, she's not going to have 75 grand to just fork over, There was one. Daniel Britton says, if I was a millionaire, I'd build an indoor track in northern Colorado. Are there not indoor tracks? That's what I don't understand. So, I was at my sister's house over the winter, and I went for a run. I tried to find somewhere flat to run, and I found a route. It was kind of by the ocean. I guess Long Island Sound. What's the water between Long Island and Connecticut? It was along that. But it was I felt like there was a lot of houses and stuff that would shield me from too much wind. So I tried running over there, and it ended up being nice. It was really flat. And I ran by an indoor tennis facility that looked basically those trampolines, those big bubbles that they'll bury into the ground. They'll have them at what are they called? KOAs, Campgrounds of America, those things. You know what I'm talking about? It just looks like a giant, if you had buried a loaf of bread in the sand and the top of the loaf of bread is sticking out. It looked like that, but it was white and inside was tennis courts. Can they use that structure to make an indoor track? I just feel I guess how much would people really pay to have membership or access to a track like that? I don't know. I remember talking to Dina Cat. Well, I wasn't having a conversation with Dina Castor and Andrew Castor about how much it takes to build a track, but they were mentioning when they built the track in Mammoth Lakes, they had to work with the city of Mammoth Lakes for that to secure the land. And building a facility, I think it's a 6-lane track, something like that. And sorry about that, I got a text. And it's in the 7 figures to build a track. And I know Thomas is trying to get one built in Baltimore. But yeah, tracks are not cheap, and that's an outdoor track. So there's not a physical structure that's housing the track that has to be there. And there would probably need to be plumbing for bathrooms, electricity, safety, security, maintenance, I don't know. Tracks are surprisingly expensive, I think. James says, there was an indoor 250-meter track where I lived up north, and at first I hated it, but now I miss it so much. See, I think a 200-meter, an indoor track, not a full-size 400-meter, but an indoor track would be really nice to have in the winter. And Adam says, did you see that someone is building a 400-meter indoor track in Vegas? Is it even, what is it eligible for records if you do that though? Because aren't they calling it short track now? What is it called if it's indoors but it's 400 meters? Is it called anything else? Or does it count as what was previously known as an outdoor record? I'm so confused. I mean, it's weird the way that they do records. Some things are not record eligible. So like at the Road to Records event, they did a road 800 meters. And even if someone had beat the 800-meter world record time, it wouldn't have been a world record. It would have been, I guess, a world's best. Because there's no such thing as a road 800 meters. Maybe if they called it the road, maybe if they called it a half mile, it'd have to be like 804 meters, I guess. Like 5K versus 5,000, half mile versus 800. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, Mika says, tracks are cheap compared to swimming pools. I've been planning a new tiny swim center to the municipality I'm working at, and even the cheapest quote I've seen has been over 9 million euros. What? Really? I had no idea that like municipal pools would be that much. I don't know how much I thought they would be, but that sounds like so much money. Oh my! I know that's not just the pool, but like, oh boy. Vanessa says Austin has one of those bubble athletic fields. It looks like a loaf of white bread from the highway. Yeah, see, that's not. I feel like that was a good description that I had. Sega Dreamcast says, I hope so badly that Believe in the Run is successful with the track. I live 2 minutes from where they'd put it. Wouldn't that be nice? There's a track in at Montrose in Chicago, you know, and I lived like about 5K away from it, less than 5K away from it. I did not use it nearly as much as I should have. All right. I think that's going to be a good place to leave it for today because I do have a phone call coming up. But today, this is going to be the last live stream of this week. Tomorrow, I'm going to LA, going to Camp Strava. You know what you guys should do in the comments? Not in the chat, but in the comments. If you have a message you're dying to give to Strava, I will write them down and bring a list and like file my complaint. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it like it's a formal petition to the king. I'm going to have them like written out and like hand them over. Number 1 on the list, alphabetize the shoes. Number 2, thread the replies. After that, let me know. Let me know who you want me to ask. Because I'm going to see them tomorrow. So, yeah, Eric says, flex his knuckles for a Strava comment. All right, let's go. I got a bunch. I know you guys got a bunch. Make sure you put it in a comment. I can't guarantee that they're going to have a response to it, but I'm hoping at some point they're like, what do you guys think we should do? And I'll be like, let me get my list out. Here's what my people want. Here's what the Kofuzi Run Club needs. So he says, can I speak to the Strava manager? I'm going to speak to the Strava manager tomorrow. Let me know what you want me to convey. And I'll do it in the nicest, most polite way possible, but with firmness and conviction. You know? All right. That's going to be it for today, guys. I will see you guys next Monday because I'll be traveling tomorrow, busy all day Thursday, traveling back home Friday. So next time I'll see you Monday. We'll have some races to talk about, hopefully. Let me know what your PRs are and what races you ran. And have fun out there racing. Or if it's just a long run day, have a good one. Be safe out there, everybody. Thanks.